Ask the Mayor on KWBE with Beatrice Mayor Stan Wirth. Our regular Thursday morning program, 228-5923 is the number if you have a question. Good morning, Stan.
Morning, Douglas.
Did want to start out with, we had a whole list of questions last week, and one of those, I know, was on Keno, how frequent that is, or how much Keno play goes on, and spots in the town where it's offered. You have some additional information on that. So.
Yeah, I contacted our finance director just because I wasn't able to have that information available last week regarding the question.
We kind of blindsided you with
That's
that one.
That's all right. That's not a problem. But we did get that information. I thought it important to follow up and answer the question. There are actually 3 places in Beatrice that offers Keno. One is at 402 and Biggs Bar and at the Rail. And the city receives 11.25% of the gross Keno sale proceeds. Now, 2% of those funds that we receive are paid back to the state of Nebraska. The revenue we receive can be used towards community betterment projects, and that has been occurring over the years. In the past, these funds have been used towards several different trail projects. We've used them to enhance the tennis courts, the skate park, the Beatrice Big Blue Waterpark improvement at both, and also improvements at the campgrounds, playground equipment, and a lot of other similar projects. The budget for the year and fiscal year 23, both include Keno funds to be used towards trail improvements. So that's where they're pretty much designated for at this point. The Keno fund balance as of the end of June was $202,000 and some change. Keno sales for the month of June were right at $118,000 compared to the trailing 12 months, which was $83,000. So you've seen an increase in those sales. 2020 was at $71,000. So you've seen a pretty dramatic increase in the Keno activity. The city has received $3.6 million in Keno funds for community betterment funds since the year 2000. And that pretty much gives kind of an overview of where the Keno sales are, how much money's coming in, and how it's being used.
Is there any prospective project out there right now? Do you think that might be able to tap that fund in the coming months, or is there anything?
Well, again, we're going to try to earmark it for any kind of trail improvements at this point. There is some trail studies being done at this point, whether or not some of those funds will be utilized for that. But that would be the extension of the trail from Riverside Park all the way to the homestead.
I see. The small segment of trail that you've been wanting to complete out by the high school to kind of extend it just a little bit, is that a potential one for that? Or
that's very strong possibility for that. And again, that's what we're going to try to designate those funds for. Not all of them, but a portion of those funds at this point.
Okay. The other program that generates money for community betterment projects is the voluntary bill contribution program, Beatrice Plus, where you can round up your bill and then it builds up a fund there. You had a couple more projects that gained small grants to help them pay for their projects. One was at the Veterans Memorial Park. That's that in-ground lighting under the branch flags.
That's correct. The Rotary Foundation applied for and received approval for a $10,000 grant for light replacements at Veterans Memorial Park. Total cost is about $20,000, so Rotary is going to pony up about $10,000, and the Beatrice Plus fund will also pay $10,000. And since 2000, just some additional statistics, but since 2003 to date, $283,000 has been raised through the Beatrice Plus program. And again, the majority of that is used for community improvement projects.
Some of those things might not get done without these programs.
Well, that's absolutely right. And it is the generosity of the general public, the ratepayers, that makes all of this possible.
I did go down by the old tennis courts on Chautauqua Park the other day where you're going to be doing the pickleball thing there, because that a lot of people, some people in town didn't even know those courts were there, but they were so seldom used because the courts out at Hannibal are so much better in terms of surface and everything. But this is kind of a nice reuse of that.
And I've had a lot of people ask me about when it's all going to be completed so that they can start playing. There is a group that is really involved in this, and it's spearheaded by Dewey and Doris Parker. They have worked really hard in trying to not only find a place to have the pickleball courts, but also to raise money to have the proper fencing and everything else, and the striping of the courts. And it's something that is certainly coming to fruition, and hopefully in the very near future, those courts are completed once the fence is in. They received about a $5,000 application. Right. Their application was $5,000, and they were approved for that.
I watched a video online about pickleball because I wanted to find out about it. It looks kind of fun.
Yeah, it does look fun
because it's a shorter court. It's not so strenuous as running a full length tennis court. And it's a little easier ability wise. People can pick it up a little easier. So
I was looking at Sports Center the other day, and they had the national pickleball tournaments going on.
Well, there you go.
Both the singles and doubles, and age group is from young all the way to senior citizens. Yeah. So it's very popular, and there are national champions. So
cornhole one day, pickleball the next. Everything's making TV anymore.
Right.
It seems like it. Major project, paving on 4th and Lincoln. They were pouring the last bit of that, I think, yesterday on the south part of the intersection at 4th and Grant. Looks really nice.
And it's coming together really, really well, and it sounds like hopefully after this concrete has cured and has met the stress test of the pounds per square inch, that hopefully we can open it by next Tuesday. You have to wait for that 7-day cure period. So hopefully Tuesday. Yeah. Barricades come down, and it's traffic as usual.
And the whole thing was to kind of make that more durable so it'll last a little bit longer. You
Absolutely.
won't have to keep resurfacing all the time. Any other projects, updates going on in town? I know there's been some waterline projects. We talked to Pat Feist 3 weeks ago. A lot of electric projects have been going on.
There's a water main project going on right now at 18th Street, and that probably will be the last project that the water department will take on this year, unless there is something that is something that they feel that because of the long-range weather forecast, they can get something in. They will try to tackle yet this year, but that'll probably be the last major project for that. As far as asphalt work is concerned, that has been completed. Pavers were in last week, and they finished Sargent Street, Prairie Avenue, and then there was just an alley off of Arthur Street, just a block long that they completed, and that was all because of a creation of a paving district that property owners requested.
Okay. Before we take a break here, did want to make note of, because I saw it on your Facebook page, the city's Facebook page, that periodically you kind of call attention to people's longevity of service with the city of Beatrice, and Water Superintendent Steve Kelly has passed 50 years of service. That's quite a milestone. You don't see that very often.
That is a milestone, and he has been an outstanding representative for the city of Beatrice and the state of Nebraska, and nationally regarding the quality of water. Steve has been a champion of and has been president of several different organizations that has to do with water on a state and national level. But he has been a champion of clean water, pure water, and he has been very, very instrumental in us getting the $7 million state revolving loan fund at a 0% rate so that we can do all different kinds of water line replacements, some reciprocal water lines that come in from our well fields so that if one line goes down, we've got another one on standby. He was extremely instrumental in getting that done for the city.
And in the not-too-distant future, you have a downtown water line replacement project that'll come up in the coming months.
We do. We thought maybe we could start that this fall, but probably we'll push that off into next spring. Again, the revolving loan fund will be used for that. The plan should be finalized next month, actually. Construction could start, as I said, as early as this fall, but I don't think that they're going to try to undertake that project. More realistic next spring, and they will more than likely do the boring of this line in the downtown area as opposed to any other disruptions of tearing up concrete and that kind of thing.
Don't have to have those big trenches a whole block long, so that would be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. 228-5923. Questions for Mayor Stan Wirth today on Ask the Mayor. We're back on Ask the Mayor today with Beatrice Mayor Stan Wirth. One of the things that pops up once in a while, and unfortunately it's happening again, I know some public power districts have been calling attention to it, is these scam calls that people get now and then demanding payment, or if you don't pay by so-and-so, we're going to do whatever. But utilities point out that that's not the way you do business. You don't demand payment over the phone or anything
Correct.
like that. So the best thing to do is hang up or notify authorities.
Right.
I guess.
We will not call and put any pressure on individuals regarding that. Look, if you don't pay your electric bill in a certain period of time, you're going to find out that we mean business because we're going to shut you off. Now, in weather like this, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But we're not going to call you on the phone and demand payment or anything like that. You'll get a bill, you'll get a subsequent bill, and we're hoping that people adhere to that and go ahead and pay their electric bills, but we're not going to put any pressure on you, and we're not going to threaten you. So just like you said, hang up on the caller and just call authorities.
Always would be nice if somebody catches one of these scammers and makes a bit of an example out of it. But it's hard to do because they can come from anywhere.
I know,
mean, in
just
today's world.
absolutely anywhere.
You have kind of a neat event coming up this Saturday, I believe, mid-afternoon, laying of a cornerstone at the new Beatrice Fire and Rescue station, and that takes place 2 o'clock. Going to be a little bit warm, but understand that they'll probably, do part of that inside? I suppose.
They will. There's going to be a luncheon at noon. The Masons of Beatrice Masonic Lodge 26 are going to have a cornerstone laying ceremony at Beatrice Fire and Rescue, but that ceremony actually starts at 2 o'clock, and it's going to be held inside as opposed to outside, just because of the 100-degree weather that is expected. And the head of Nebraska Masons, Grandmaster Alex Strautman of the Grand Lodge, Nebraska, will be on hand, along with some other members of the Masonic Temple. And this is something that has been done before. There is a cornerstone at the Beatrice High School, and there is also one at the library. And I think the Beatrice City Auditorium has a Masonic Lodge cornerstone.
How's things working out with the new fire station so far? New facility and
Pretty
everything?
good.
Yeah,
We did have a little roof damage because of the last storm.
Oh, I see.
And so that's, you've seen a couple of ladders up of people taking a look and investigating what kind of damage there is, but covered by insurance, and it'll be taken care of as soon as we can get somebody to do the work.
Roofers have been very busy in the
Extremely
area
busy,
following the
yeah.
hail and everything. And speaking of roofs, the council approved a bid for the library roof on Monday night. You had 4 bids for that, range in price from, I want to say about $132,000 or $3,000 up to $164,000 or so. So pretty competitive. For
Yeah,
bids.
I thought really competitive. Each bidder was about $10,000 apart. The low bid was from Schoen's Roofing. Schoen has some 11 crews, so they will get started on that promptly. They are extremely busy, as you mentioned, as all roofers are right now. You can certainly hear that familiar tapping sound in the neighborhood when you walk outside.
See a lot of roofing signs in the yards where they've done their roof, and it's kind of an unfortunate thing. Storms come along, but on the other hand, it's a lot of business for roofing companies.
Absolutely.
So and that has to be done too to prevent any future damage.
Well, a lot of people in town, out of town people that are working on our roofs, and they're staying here, and and they're also assisting with our economy.
Okay. We were talking about the heat for Saturday's event. One thing heat seems to have helped out with, every time I drive by the big Blue Waterpark, boy, there are a lot of people there, parking lots full. And
busy place, isn't it?
Yeah. Any kind of idea about how, and we won't get into the numbers because that comes later on after
Because
the
I don't
season.
have those numbers.
But any kind of anecdotal evidence about how popular it's been this year, maybe compared to some other years?
Again, I don't have those numbers, Doug, to make any kind of a comparison. But this time of the year, with this kind of climate, it's extremely popular, and you've got people crawling all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about, and we're certainly pleased that people have the ability and wherewithal to enjoy themselves in that kind of an atmosphere.
Have about a month left on the season before then you have the dog swim event out there.
I think that's on August 16th, if I'm not
or
mistaken.
16th or 19th, somewhere in there, yeah. And summer's going fast.
It is.
School's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
And, of course, you start to lose lifeguard help because they're going back to school and college. So, but still a month left to do that.
And then when the pool closes, the Humane Society is going to utilize it for their fundraiser, where you can bring a pet in, and as long as it meets the qualifications of a friendly pet, for I think $5 per pet, they're going to allow them to swim in the pool, and once they're out of the pool, then the pool will be drained for the year.
Yeah. I think they went to $10 this year, but small donation for
Small
a good
donation
cause.
for a good cause, you're
That's
right.
for sure. Even when the pool's closed, I would imagine the splash pad will still be operating at Sertoma Astro?
Yeah,
Park
it
for a
will
while?
be, and that will continue simply because it's you have a lot younger population that use it, and some of those kids aren't in school or won't be in school yet. So it's a good opportunity for parents to take their youngsters there for a period of time, and we'll certainly make that announcement not only on the radio but on our Facebook page of when we anticipate that to close.
Well, there's been more than a couple of days I felt like driving by there and just jumping out of the car and standing under the thing for a while.
I'll take you over there and I'll watch that.
Do some video of that. I don't know if anybody want to watch that or not, but anyway. Before we take another break here, another downtown redevelopment loan was acted upon by the council on Monday night, and this one was for the vintage venue.
John and Colleen Schonewise applied for the grant, and they're going to actually put a fire escape, I think, on the east side of their building, so that they have the opportunity to utilize the second floor of that building. Again, just another way to help businesses in our community, and if they keep that fire escape in the condition that it is supposed to be in for the next 5 years, then that is an actual grant, and the loan is forgivable.
I think you had, about a dozen projects that
13,
are coming up, 13
yeah.
coming up for approval
Correct.
or whatever at various stages.
Some
So-
of them we have already approved. I
Mhm.
think John and Rita Hydo was one of them. Jim's Carpet was another one. And there's another one that it escapes. Oh, the Shones.
Yeah, that's
Aaron
right.
Shone and Kylie Shone, where they're working on the Bagby Travel Building, I believe it is.
So you're about halfway through those, and the more will be coming up before the council here in just a little bit.
That is correct.
All right. Back to wrap up, Ask the Mayor today on KWBE in just a moment. Just a few minutes left on Ask the Mayor today with Beatrice Mayor Stan Wirth. We were talking about the downtown redevelopment grants. We did get a question about, what are the other businesses that will be receiving money? I guess those are yet to come before the council. So,
They are.
yeah.
There was some 13 approved for the amount of money that was available, and I think the total amount of money was right at $436,000, if memory serves me correctly. And of course, the individuals that apply for these grants actually have to put something into it. I think it's about 25% of whatever that project cost is. We had a committee of private citizens go through these grant applications along with Main Street Beatrice, and they're the ones that actually made these recommendations. And we mentioned a couple of them just a little bit ago of those that have been approved, and the rest of them will come to the City Council. I do not have the list in front of me, so I cannot tell you exactly who those businesses are.
This is the second cycle of that program you've gone through with the success you've had. Is that something where you can hope to get another cycle later on, or do you kind of, once you're on it that often, do you kind of, they let some other community maybe?
Sure, but it's kind of a pecking order, and there's kind of a report card that you fill out, and because of what you are intending to do, actually can score higher in the application process as opposed to others. So we will continue to submit applications for that grant funding on an annual basis, knowing full well that we're not going to every year be successful.
Yeah. Economic development prospects, any out there right now? I know Engage works with some kind of behind the scenes, not by name, but ongoing projects that they're after. Are any of those getting close to maybe some type of announcement, or what can you say about that?
Well, the City Council did approve the sale of 10 lots out in the industrial park. Now, we are under a memorandum of understanding to keep the information at this point confidential, and so certainly can't mention that at this point, but that will be forthcoming, I think, sooner than later. And there is a couple of other options that some companies have executed on some additional property. We've had some inquiries regarding that. Some of them look pretty promising. Other ones maybe we can't even accommodate just because of the number of employees that they're going to need. But that is an ongoing process. We're still getting inquiries, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. We are about, we're a little bit more than halfway through the calendar year of 2022, and just without knowing the figures on permits or building permits, things like that. But what's your take on the level of residential development, renovations, commercial, industrial that's been going on in the city this year, as of the type of year it's been? Has it been a pretty healthy year? Are there some new projects, maybe subdivisions that are out there yet to go? Or
there are, but it all takes time. It all takes money, and with the situations that we have gone through in the last couple of years with the supply chain and everything else, and I hope we don't have to continue to use that excuse much longer. I think there is a lot of projects that are waiting for prices to come down just a little bit, the supply chain to get better, the availability of contractors to do the work. Right now, you obviously have a lot of contractors that are doing roof work and repair work, siding work. I think that there is a lot of projects that are yet to be done. They just haven't started yet. There seems to be a lot of remodeling activity going on, and I don't see a lot of housing at this point, development, housing being built. But again, hopefully there's some people out there that are waiting for, again, the prices to come down. You're seeing some development out in the Whispering Pines area, a couple of houses being built there, and others across town, some out of town, a lot of acreages that are springing up all over the place. But again, I think it is something that is ongoing, but I think it will pick up as you see the economy change just a little bit. Interest rates go down, inflation go down just a little bit. We'll see more activity.
Now and then you see a commercial project. I know the one that comes to mind right now is Runza's rebuild that's going on out there. Will be nice when that is done.
So. Yeah, and that's more, that has to do with the volume of traffic that they see, and it's a real safety issue that they recognized for those that are traveling Highway 77. So it gets them off the beaten path just a little bit, and hopefully it can be a little more conducive and broaden their footprint just a little bit.
Understand no work session this month? You're going to forego that, is that right?
That is correct, and we're planning on some things for the end of August for a work session.
Okay, so the next council meeting?
August 1st, maybe?
Somewhere around there,
yeah.
Or 2nd, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't have a calendar with me, but Stan, thanks for being with us again.
Thanks, Doug.